Dumb shit alert. So I've been keeping up with this Battlefield 5 drama lately because it's kind of a really beautiful clusterfuck. In a nutshell, Battlefield has always been kind of a realistic historical shooter, and when Battlefield 5 was announced, people were treated as some kind of alternate history World War II with women and cybernetic enhancements. It threw me for a loop too. Needless to say, people are feeling some type of way about that now. And the phrases that have been echoing across the internet recently are something along the lines of "Libtards and SJWs are ruining my Battlefield!" I was inspired to make this video when Angry Joe made his video on the subject, and the Battlefield community blew up on him for misrepresenting the argument. I don't even watch Angry Joe, I just thought this was funny. I don't think he misrepresented the argument. I think he rather represented an argument that only, how should I say this, stupid people are making. Now, I realize I'm a trans, so certain people out there might not think my opinion is valid anyway. But let me just say that estrogen and testosterone blockers, if anything, have helped me with my ability to formulate an opinion, because now I don't feel the need to interrupt every string of thought with a jerk-off session. But I'm not here to represent the stupid argument, because I have seen some people that do have some pretty rational reasons for being disappointed. It seems the major issue to a lot of people is the historical accuracy of the setting. I think to appease the majority of people and keep it realistic, what they could have done is maybe give you different customization options based on which battle you are in and which militaries are in that battle. Women for the Russians? Doesn't seem like anyone really has a problem with that. Black Americans, French, British soldiers, okay. But a woman with a robot leg? Nah, son, nah. And I get that. Battlefield 5 looks to be very different from previous entries, and it looks to be changing up the aesthetic, like, really drastically, so it can be really hard when you really love a franchise and it changes on you. But then other people are saying that the liberal agenda is to blame, and that putting women in the game is the product of PC culture, and that SJWs are taking over the gaming industry, and Jesus fucking Christ, will you just sit down? Will you just sit the fuck down and quit your bitching? You're just as whiny, and just as bitchy, and just as annoying as the actual SJWs if you really think that way, and say those things. You know how everything offends them, and they think it's a political statement? Yeah, you're doing that. No one is going to think Battlefield 5 is how it really happened. It's a multiplayer shooter. They wanted to focus on customization at the same time as making it more immersive. How do you do that? Set it in an alternate world. Then the rules are different. You don't have to abide by our world's rules because it's not our world. I don't think customization options are really a detriment to the game. That's silly thinking. And I know plenty of men who always pick female characters when given the option. I had a roommate who was kind of a faggot, but definitely straight, and he always made a character who had red hair, and he always maxed out the tits and ass bars. It's just more pleasing to look at. It seems more like what should have been really safe business decision than a political statement. Every time the developers talked about it, and I was watching E3, every time the developers talked about it, they were very cautious to say our portrayal or our version of World War II. They never claimed it was going to be historically accurate. What they did promise, though, that really stood out to me was the phrase, "the most immersive Battlefield experience yet." And you know what? I think the robot arms and the women actually help with that. Look at all this ridiculous shit you can do in the game. Ironically, it's more realistic in-universe for them to not be hyper-realistic. What would be immersion-breaking is watching a bunch of normal-ass people doing the things that you normally do in Battlefield. That's the kind of stuff that constantly reminds me I'm playing a video game. Not that it bothers me, I love video games. I think this gives more of an in-universe reason to achieve all of those cool moves you can pull off in a video game. Therefore making it more immersive. It seems more real in its own world. And how many times have we been to World War II in video games? I mean, I really appreciate alternate history. Alternate history is cool. My biggest gripe is that they didn't go all out with it. We could have had like a Wolfenstein-looking Battlefield game. That would have been cool. Oh well, I was never gonna buy it anyway. I'm not into multiplayer shooters, and EA sucks! I'm gonna go make Twitter jokes about child rape and hope I never work for Disney. Have a good night. I love you all just as much as I hate you. So I guess it cancels out. I don't know any of you. Please subscribe.